So let's take a look at some of the elements of the C language. These are concepts that we're going to move through that we've discussed in the earlier core concepts videos. So we'll kind of just speak to these as things that are included in the C language. So in terms of program flow, we have external imports. So for example, we can read a code file written in C or in another language, or use an already compiled code. Also, we utilize functions. So that means that we are allowing the code to be more modular and prevent us from retyping the same code many times over, and therefore maximize reusability of the code that we write.
We also implement data types, such as the primitive data types, the basic data types, composite data types, which we've talked about. We're probably nauseous how many times we've talked about these. Static data type, which is just a data type that maintains its value during a program execution. Pointers, and arrays.
We also have operators and comparison operators. So operators are symbols that represent arithmetic or logic expressions, like the plus, minus, multiply, not equal to. Comparisons are different types of expressions to be evaluated to dictate process flow.
Control structures, we have decision statements, which we know as if-then statements pretty much. They give the program the ability to make choices, and loops allow you to traverse through iterations of a process on a given or a dynamic interval.
And then we have some of the data structures in C. So this includes stacks and queues. Stacks where the element that arrives last is used first, and queues, which is first in, first out, or FIFO, some people say. Also we have enums, or enumerations, which is a set of integer constants. Structures, or structs, which is a set of variable values, or fields, that contain different types. And unions, which is a set of variable values, or members, occupying the same storage space.
Memory allocation. In C, we allocate memory to a new item. We reallocate memory for a new item with previously used item. And we also can free memory for a item or data type that we are no longer using, and we set that memory as available.
So now we'll take a look at our working environment. Our working environment is going to be where we write our code, compile our code, and execute our code through our C language coursework. Our approach to this, or our technique, is going to be a minimalist one. So that means we're going to keep the simplest and cheapest approach possible. That means there's going to be no integrated development environment, and we're just going to use a simple text editor and a command line compiler.
Yes.
This is going to be running on Microsoft Windows operating system, and we're going to be using the MinGW compiler, or the minimalist GNU for Windows compiler. This is effectively a Windows port of the GNU GCC compiler that you might find in Linux and Unix and other operating systems. For our text editor, we're going to be using Notepad++, which has nice find and replace features. It has some nice language syntax highlighting, which is really good. You can use regular expressions on your replaces. It's nice.
So it's really important, guys, hopefully that you guys don't get turned off by this, but Brian and I believe it's really important for you to learn this stuff from this level. Mm-hmm. Because when you get further along, and you come from these roots, you have an advantage over the person that skipped ahead and didn't take the time to learn things at this level. Because at one point, Brian, that's all we had.
Yeah.
All that we had was a freaking ASCII text editor and a freaking compiler, and we had nothing else but that.
So with MinGW and Notepad++, there's no cost, and we'll show you where you can acquire these things.
Yeah.
Microsoft Windows, there is a cost associated. If you are coming from the Linux or Unix environment, you can also follow along with all these by using the GNU GCC compiler in the command line in Linux, as you'd be familiar with that. And you can use a text editor like Pico or VI or Emacs or whatever you prefer.
Or Kwrite or something.
Right.